Hello. Welcome,
Hello,
everybody.
everyone. Welcome.
Welcome to another 9to5Toys live stream. I'm Jordan
Yeah.
Schwarzenjuber, joined by Rika, and we're going to be talking about a bunch of reviews from the week and talking about some news and deals as well. But always, if there's something you want to talk about in the chat, pop it in there, and we'll take a look at that and be pretty casual. So
Yeah. We've had a pretty eventful week in terms of reviews for both of us this week, and there's a couple interesting pieces of news that are worth diving into and spending a little time chatting about. But yeah, if there's anything you want us to go back and cover more or like have questions about any of the gear we've actually went hands-on with, just feel free to drop it in the chat.
yeah,
And
right away.
we've already got one.
Yeah, is the
Yeah.
new DeathAdder better than the new Viper? That's going to be a decision that's up to you, because spec-wise, like performance-wise, they're going to be identical. It's just ergonomics. What feel do you like better? So that's the first thing we're going to talk about. I'm using the DeathAdder V3 Pro. We just posted our review about it. I'll link that down here in the chat if you want to check it out.
Yeah, so why don't you walk us through what the deal is this time around?
Totally. So it's interesting. Like the DeathAdder's had a pretty iconic shape for the entire time that it's been out. Like this is the V2 Pro, and it's just like really iconic with these kind of flares going out left and right, like really wide there in the front.
Yeah.
And with the V3 Pro, they really kind of brought that in, so it's not quite as exaggerated. But it's still this high hump in the middle, ergonomic gaming mouse that's intended for a grip style where you kind of have your palm in contact with the mouse. Like some like pro gamers, they'll do like they'll call it like a fingertip style where they aren't really resting their palm on it. They're just kind of like hovering over top of it. And that's great with something like the Viper V2 Pro, which is a little bit shorter. Really good for that. But the DeathAdder, it's a little bit like for me, I obviously like edit videos and work at my desk all day. So it's a little bit more of a comfortable mouse. But then when I want to hop over to gaming, it's still a really comfortable mouse. That's what I really like about it.
Great.
And
Yeah. I mean, it looks very cool just from the photos and the video of like holding it up. Yeah, I've been trying out like ergonomic mice and like I don't know, just having that completely different form factor is, I mean, not great for gaming, but this kind of seems like a more tailored experience for actually clicking heads rather than like the productivity focused ones.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. And it, I mean, obviously with this one, the main focus is with the Pro in the name, they've really dropped the weight on it. So that takes out some features, like it doesn't have RGB like the previous model did. It doesn't accept the charging dock like the previous model did. And it has less buttons, like a lot of changes here. But that means it dropped 25 grams, which is pretty significant when it comes to like a lightweight gaming mouse. And so it feels, it feels really good to play with. I think that's what I titled the video. It just feels right. Like it's very, very comfortable for me as a gamer, but then also for editing videos as well. So I really enjoy it.
Yeah. Do you know if there's a left-handed version or if it's purely right-handed?
Purely right-handed, as far as I know. Yeah.
I mean, not that. Yeah, I know that that's a whole big thing now. Is companies are actually doing both both-handed versions, but
right. And Razer's done that. What was the last one they did? The Naga, the one with the 12 different buttons on the side or interchangeable buttons. Like they'll do a left-handed version of that. But most of their other mice, I don't think they really do much with that, which is kind of interesting. Like that was also one thing with the Viper V2 Pro is because it's a symmetrical mouse. And with, I'm pretty sure with the Ultimate, it also had side buttons on the right side. So like you could, if you were left-handed, you could use it like totally fine. Just use the buttons on the other side. But they cut those with the V2 Pro once again in the name of saving weight.
Yeah, I mean, I'm totally. I used to use the Logitech Superlight as my like daily driver for gaming. And definitely, like I switched to the MX Master 3S for a while to review, and it was such a night and day difference between like not maybe it might not be the heaviest mouse on the market, but it's like completely different than something that like feels like it is just a hollow shell of
Right.
like of plastic.
Do you use that for gaming as well? Did you play Overwatch?
Yeah,
Is that kind of the
yeah, a lot of
Yeah.
Overwatch. Yeah, I've been mixing it up lately. I had been using an ergonomic mouse for the Logitech Lift mouse, like it's like the vertical one that kind of positions your hand like vertically instead of like face
Okay.
down, like palm down, and it was not good.
For gaming?
Like, yeah. I mean, I also really appreciate the like the clicky side buttons for as like a more of a console user, and like
Yeah.
coming from controllers, having the just having two buttons is pretty nice.
Yeah, totally. Riz says, also, I have the DeathAdder V2 Pro. It's too heavy for me, so should I upgrade to the V3 Pro? Also play FPS games. Well, yeah, if it's too heavy for you, then there's kind of a no-brainer there to upgrade to it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really the biggest, I think, the biggest difference in this thing. And like their new sensor, the Focus Pro 30K, it's like 30K DPI, which is just ridiculous. But it's also I kind of mentioned this in my review. There's a YouTuber, Optimum Tech, who does a bunch of like latency tests to see, which mice really are the fastest. And these Razer hyperspeed mice are like usually pretty high up there, especially with these latest sensors. So yeah, if weight is a concern to you, then this is an incredible upgrade, I would say.
Yeah, very cool.
Let's see here. I'm going to look through. Is there anything else we kind of wanted to talk about it?
Yeah, I mean, I guess
review
the
standpoint?
final verdict is like, is it going to be your daily driver going forward, or are you going to immediately go back to another mouse that you've, I guess, reviewed before?
No, this is it. This is the
Yeah.
one. This is the one for me. I can see the case for the Viper V2 Pro for like competitive gamers,
Mhm.
and especially like if you do that claw or fingertip style grip, or claw or fingertip style grip, like the Viper V2 Pro is probably better for that. But for me, this is it just feels very comfortable, and with the hybrid of both work and play, it's a great fit for me.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I always love when, whenever devices come out and it's like, yep, this is the end game until I guess when the V4 comes out next year.
Right, exactly. I mean, yeah, it's crazy. Razer's already like sending us embargoes for other stuff that's coming up, and they're kind of on a roll right now. So
Yeah,
if that doesn't seem exactly like what you want, like they're always coming out with more stuff. So
yeah.
always just wait a little
Which
bit.
I certainly appreciate that approach too, of just like, here's a mouse for literally every type of use case, or like every type of person, of like, because it's like some people just want the dedicated gaming mouse and like never need the productivity side of things, like it covered it all. So
Totally.
yeah,
Yeah.
very cool.
Yeah, there have been people have been talking about the Viper V2 Pro, like if they did a mini version of it, which would be
Mhm.
even better for like
Yeah.
fingertip style
Mhm.
grips. A lot of people were kind of hyped up about that. So it'll be interesting to see what Razer does, because that would definitely be something that the fan base is craving.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
like every time they come out with one of these new mice, like it's always a great time to
Mhm.
pick up the last generation. Like stuff is just
Oh,
getting
for
so
sure.
much more affordable. Talking about
Abby in the chat is, yeah. But we're gonna get to the headphones. That's
ah,
later on.
nice. Is that a review item?
Yeah,
Okay. All
it's
right.
coming in. It's in the works. Um,
Great.
not it has not gone live yet, but it is, I guess, at a near future review.
Those do look very nice.
Yeah. But
Um,
do you want to move on to talk about,
sure.
I guess, the other big review this week with the NZXT release?
Yeah. So the Canvas, they have two of these monitors. They have the 27-inch and the 32-inch, and we got to check out the 27-inch. So this is, once again, it's geared towards gaming, but it's 1440p, so it's 2560 by 1440, 165 hertz refresh rate, which is
Mm.
obviously great for gaming. And like price wise, it's pretty competitively priced as well. And one thing I like about NZXT, I mean, I think they've gotten some flack for this, but like usually that like the cosmetics are pretty good. Like they usually make
Yeah.
pretty good looking things. Like I know I have one of their. I just bought one of the H510 Flow cases just because I really like the look of it and I wanted some more airflow in there. Um, and once again, like these monitors, they're pretty simple, but like this just got a nice clean design. You know, some of the gaming focused monitors can get a little wild and out
Yeah.
there with the extra little like plastic bits they throw on them.
Yeah, and especially like I don't know, on the round back, a lot of them have like the weird spaceship, thruster like light ring
Right.
design. Yeah,
Right. Which can like if you're going for that, that's cool. But if you want something that also looks, I don't know, a little more professional or something, then this is a great fit. And
yeah.
so, oh, sorry, go ahead.
I mean, not to get into criticisms right away, but it would have been great if they had released a white one
Well, so
to match the rest of their gear.
they have a white one, but unfortunately the front of it isn't actually
Yeah.
white, which is kind of
Ah,
kind of
yeah,
silly. Let me get to the site here. We can check it out. So yeah, like they with a lot of their stuff, they have white, you know, colorways as well.
yeah,
Um, and so you can choose here on their website, you can choose what color, and like it looks great, the white stand, but the front facing part of it is still black.
yeah.
But then from the back, it
It would
looks
have been,
great.
yeah. It would have been
Yeah,
so cool to have just like the little white trim at the bottom of the bezel, but
yeah,
yeah,
yep.
it can't be flawless.
Yeah, what did
Like,
you say? We were talking about that in our Slack chat, and you're like, well, maybe next time.
yeah, maybe not, yeah, for next year's or
Yeah.
whatever. Riz in the chat though is asking if there's a second monitor recommendation. If like I don't is the Canvas 27Q a good second monitor, or would you say that it's more in the like if you're gonna spend the cash on it, like it should just be your dedicated main driver?
I mean, yeah, with that resolution and refresh rate, like if you're not gaming on it, then you could probably
Hmm.
get something more affordable that's a lower refresh rate. Um, use my second monitor for chat or video editing or watching videos. Yeah, so you don't need like a top spec thing. I would definitely recommend still looking for something that's, you know, 1440 if that's what your other monitor is. You want to match the resolution, but I don't think you really need to pay for the extra like refresh rate
Yeah,
personally.
absolutely. Yeah. No, I'm the same way. I
Yeah,
mean, my like gut reaction would be to find one that you can do vertical orientation as well, which I
yeah,
believe the NZXT one does have, right? You can
yeah.
put it up into a vertical orientation if you so desire.
Yep. So if you get one interesting thing here is like you can buy the panel just by itself, which is $320,
Mm.
or you can add the monitor stand, which does have a vertical orientation. That's kind of how I have it set up now. I have one mounted on an arm in the middle, and then I have this one off to the left, like where I have the Discord chat and OBS and all that. That's
Mm.
mounted vertical. Um, and that works really well for the second monitor. I actually really like it. I have a third one over here that I can't talk about yet. I'll talk about that another time. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, it works. It works perfectly for that. And yeah, so the monitor stand will rotate 90 degrees either way, which is
Hmm.
nice. And then they have the monitor arms. I wasn't able to check those out, but they kind of look like kind of standard run of the mill monitor arms. Nothing too crazy there.
Yeah, I mean the biggest thing for like the stand really caught my eye just as I've used like plenty of monitors that have very basic stands that are like are immediately worth replacing, but this one seems actually worth picking up to me. I don't know, just because you can actually put it into vertical orientation if you want, but I don't
Yeah,
know, is it a sturdy stand? Like would
it
you say
is.
it's
Yeah, it seems. Like, I was surprised by how sturdy it feels for how easy it is to adjust. Like raising it up
Mhm.
and down is still very simple, but it feels sturdy as well. Like once you rotate it and put it in this vertical section, it feels really sturdy. Um, so it feels really, really good to me.
Oh, cool.
Um,
Yeah. And I mean, and I like that it's only a $20 add-on, or like I guess that they give you the choice to just subtract $20,
right.
right?
Well,
If
the
you just
monitor
don't want the
stand's $40, so
yeah.
it's a
Oh, it's for oh,
yeah,
gotcha, gotcha.
so it's another $40 to add on there. But yeah,
Mhm.
or if if you're planning on mounting it to a desk anyways, or you already have another arm,
Yeah.
or you want to find a cheaper arm because even their single monitor arm is $100,
Mhm.
and the double is 170. Let's see if we can. I'll show that on the stream there. So, But yeah, it's great. Like I was using, I've been using for the last couple of years that
Mhm.
massive dark matter 49-inch ultra
Yeah.
wide, which is basically just two 27-inch monitors stitched together, which I
Mhm.
really like for productivity. But when it comes to gaming, I would just make it a 16:9 aspect ratio and put it in the middle of the monitor anyways. So I wasn't
Mhm.
really like using the full width for gaming
Yeah.
unless I'm doing sim racing, then I would use it for that, which
Mhm.
it's really good
Yeah.
for that. Um, but for like FPS games and everything else, it just makes sense to do this. And with streaming, I think it works really well to have
Yeah.
this thing set up here too. So
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I think I've talked about it before, of that I get made fun of by friends and colleagues for having my 34-inch ultra wide monitor that I game on. Like it's not curved, but
yeah.
and when I stream, it's in the full 36 or whatever, yeah, whatever the full resolution is. So it's ultra wide
Oh, really?
content. Yeah.
That's awesome. There's a another YouTuber, Jack Frags, who's been posting these videos recently. Like he's calling them like immersive videos of Battlefield gameplay, where he's like on an
Yeah.
ultra wide and he'll turn off all the HUDs and everything, so it just like looks like as
Oh
realistic as
yeah.
possible. Actually, been kind
I
of fun to
love that.
watch. Yeah,
Yeah. I guess then that's gonna be me for Splatoon when it comes out.
nice. You gonna stream that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Nice.
I'm like, yeah. I mean, we'll talk about that. I guess I don't. I guess now is a good time that we can actually
Yeah.
talk about Splatoon because there was news this week for Splatoon 3. Arguably the most in-depth look at like a game you can get before it comes out, where Nintendo just showed off 32. Like it was literally 30 minutes of nonstop like here's a new weapon, here's a new map, here's a new mechanic that you can check out and play with friends. Yeah,
That's
I'm very
awesome.
excited about it. I'm a big Splatoon fan of the second one, and third one just kind of looks like they've made it better. Like it kind of looks like DLC to the first one, but I don't know. I believe Splatoon 2 came out 5 years ago at this point, and so I am welcoming the fresh content and honestly just like a new player base to come in and actually keep the servers like to populate the servers and so I'm not, not battling the same people. I think I was one of the like the last people playing Splatoon 2 when they finally were like, "Hey, it's we're shutting it like we're shutting it
Shut the server
down."
down
Like,
now. Yeah.
yeah.
Last call.
I mean, like I think you can still like play online, but they are you familiar with Splatoon at all?
Not really,
Or
no.
yeah, I mean, it's Nintendo's like so Nintendo like needed a shooter in their category or like in a shooter category in their library. And so this is their way of being a little more like family friendly where you're not shooting bullets or like lasers, you have to cover the map in ink is the main objective for most of the maps. And so it's like they call it the turf war where you have to, you just shoot ink out of like I don't know, there's like paintbrush weapons that you can melee people with and it's a lot more like strategy based than I guess like a typical FPS, but
Gotcha.
it's I don't know, it's a fun game. Back when Splatoon 2 came out, we did 9 to 5 like pickup games a couple times, I
Oh,
believe,
really?
and yeah, and I was talking to Simon, one of the people behind the scenes at 9to5Toys, and we were kind of just being like, yeah, we could pick that up and start doing those again and come September. So,
Yeah, that'd be a lot of fun. That's
but
awesome.
yeah, I mean, I'm very excited about the game, and it's just like they showed off way too much for any of us to like for us to spend any time on, but just it looks like it's gonna be the big game for the fall, at least for Nintendo's like as far as Nintendo's lineup is concerned.
Yeah.
Yeah, should hopefully
Awesome.
hold everyone over until Breath of the Wild 2 potentially comes out.
Yeah. Very cool.
Uh, yeah,
Um,
no, are you inclined to pick it up, or are you gonna pass on this one?
I don't know. If we're having some company meetings on the paint
Yeah,
field, yeah, I'd do that. That'd be fun.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I don't know that I would play it a whole lot just by myself, but with
yeah,
friends it'd be a lot of fun to play.
for sure. Yeah, absolutely. It definitely seems like it's more in the party game like thing than anything else, but
Yeah.
it should be a good time when it drops in like a month. Hopefully.
Hopefully, yeah. Have there been any?
Yeah.
Has it been like delayed at all in the past? Or?
No, but I mean, there's Nintendo always kind of has issues with their online games. Like it always seems like their servers are not prepared, or I don't know, or something comes up. So
Gotcha.
it will hopefully be a good time.
Yeah.
Is I guess the where I'm a little hesitant, but
Yeah, that's the main game I play right now is Battlefield 2042, and like the launch has been pretty terrible, and even up until now, like it's still not. It's getting better now, but like they've just been plagued with delays and issues and bugs.
Mm-hmm. It's sorry. I'm reading the chat here of Ray's talking about a sub $100 mic for streaming on a budget.
Yeah,
which I think. Yeah, I mean, I think we're actually, I believe early, like I know early in the week we spotted a couple discounts on mics from from Blue and from HyperX and a couple things on the site here.
Yeah, trying to find those real quick. I would recommend, I mean, basically the mic that I'm using, the HyperX Duocast. I love this thing. I think it's right at $100. Awesome mic. It does pretty much everything you need it to without like the extra, like you aren't paying for more features that you don't need.
Yeah.
And then the other one I would recommend is a Solocast. Once again, it sounds great, but is also very affordable and doesn't have like a ton of features they're not going to use. Like if you're just streaming, you probably don't need 4 polar patterns. So if you just get something like the Solocast, which just has the one cardioid, like it's perfect for that. It's small, so it's not going to take up much room in your stream. I've added a couple accessories to mine, just like a cheap Amazon boom arm and shock mount, which takes care of the only things I ever had issues with on the Solocast. But yeah, those are my favorite. I've actually been really enjoying the Solocast and Duocast. And yeah, like Razer has some of their other stuff that's good as well. The stuff from Elgato, like the Wave microphones, those are good. But if you ask me for a recommendation, I'm probably going to say HyperX.
Yeah, and I mean, at $35, it is seemingly, I don't know, like it's well below your budget. Right. So you can deck it out with all of the gear you need. Of like, if you want to get a shock mount or a boom arm, I love my boom arm on my higher end Shure mic, but you can pick up the whole kit and caboodle for well under $100 if you I guess pick up some of the do you have a recommendation for a boom arm for your mic? I don't, because the one I use is a little, I think, too premium to recommend for any kind of budget setup, but
that's a funky link I was going to put in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll drop this video in the chat. This is basically the video that I made that talks about exactly that. I took the Solocast and then I added, it's probably like a $15 boom arm from Amazon, and then another like maybe $15 universal shock mount as well. And so with all those together, it makes for a really solid streaming microphone, I think. Without breaking the bank, you're not spending a ton of money on it. So, but yeah, if you, I like the Duocast as well, though, the one that I'm using now, which is kind of fun. Like it can do like the RGB colors here, the ring. It still has the tap to mute on top, which is really nice.
Yeah.
And it'll have more features in the HyperX software, Ingenuity. Like right now, it's interesting. So they, I didn't really talk about this in the video, the review I did of the Duocast, but they, like in their promo video, they talked about and showed off some filters you can put on the audio, which would be really useful, but those aren't available yet in the software package. Like only one of the filters was available. Which is a little frustrating.
Is it like coming soon, or is it just kind of like, I don't know, MIA?
Yeah, I asked my contact. She's like, yeah, those will be available in future updates. So like, any timeline on that? She's like, well, future. So it wasn't anything set in stone there, but I mean, because it's a USB microphone, obviously it's pretty easy for them to update firmware and software side of things. So, I mean, I expect them to make good on that promise. I just don't know exactly when it's gonna come out. But even without those, I'd still would recommend this mic because I think it sounds good.
Yeah. I mean, it's always good. Like, or I guess it's always good to not recommend things based on promised updates in the future. But like, the
Right.
fact that you can still be like, yeah, it's worth buying, even if it hasn't delivered what they necessarily promised out of the gate, is like,
Right.
you'll get a good mic, and then I don't know, a couple months you might get a slightly better mic when they update it.
Right. So here's on stream, I pulled up the
Yeah.
Ingenuity software so you can kind of look at it. Like
Mhm.
here in this filter thing, they had there was high pass, and I'm trying to remember what else they had in the promo video. There's actually someone in the comments on the video kind of tipped me off to that. So like, hey, like what about
Yeah.
this other stuff? And I was like, oh, what about that other stuff?
Yeah.
um,
You got
so
to do a video follow up of like
yeah,
HyperX. This is a call out. Where
yeah.
where is it?
I was talking to my wife about that. I was like, do I do that or I don't know, but
I
yeah, we
mean,
definitely could. Like it's
I guess yeah,
kind of some false. I
yeah,
don't know if it's false advertising or what you want to call it, but actually, I want to watch the video now.
yeah.
um,
Yeah, those I think like especially with if you can get discounts on any of the recommendations from Jordan, like obviously you don't want to pay full price for anything, but like I think I don't know, at $35 the solo cast does seem like a winner in my opinion, but I guess it depends on to what degree you want to kind of splurge on your audio.
right. And I mean, what kind of streaming you're doing? Like, if you're just sitting
Yeah.
in front of a monitor like this by yourself, maybe you don't need all the extra features of like the quadcast. But if you're, a performance artist and you're like doing instruments and some other performance, then maybe you do need some of those different polar patterns.
Yeah.
So yeah, it just kind of depends on. Well, it doesn't show the software in here. I wonder if they altered it.
Yeah, they
Maybe this is a different.
re-uploaded.
Yeah,
It's
interesting.
funny. Yeah, I mean, yeah, follow-up video. It's in the works.
Yeah,
I can see the gears turning.
absolutely.
Nest says that they need a monitor to run Better Call Saul at 144 hertz. It is Fring Friday, so yeah, go celebrate.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I guess we can. I think that answers pretty thoroughly what the best mic under $100 is. But
Yeah.
we can move on. Earlier in the week, I got my hands on a new pair of earbuds to add to my ever-growing collection. And they're itty bitty, but I took a hands-on look at the Jabra Elite 4 active earbuds, and they're a little. They enter at $120, and so they are one of the more. They're a little more mid-range than like your AirPods Pro or like Samsung's new Galaxy Buds Pro 2. But the final verdict is that they're worth the cash if you can get them on sale, and you oftentimes can. But they've I don't know, the balancing out of the box wasn't great. Weirdly enough, I feel like a lot of companies are like over amplify the bass for a lot of earbuds these days, and it's like it's unnecessary to me. But they fit in really well, and I think my biggest praise is probably that you can get ANC for like $100, and even without the active software feature enabled, it creates such a good seal in your ear that like you don't even necessarily need it all the time. But
Yeah.
big fan, yeah, big fan. If you're, I think at this point, if you're an Apple user, like AirPods have kind of, probably already won. But like these are definitely a go-to if you want, and if you're like an Android or like a multi-device user and want to switch between a PC or or your phone. And they are there's the active in the title. So if you want to take them out for workouts, they are kind of geared towards that. But it's not I would say that the fitness features are a little less like notable than some of the higher end offerings. Like they're a really solid pair of earbuds all around for for the cash if you can get them on sale. But
Do they have much as far as like weatherproofing? Oh, I guess I see here.
yeah, yeah, it's
IP57.
57. Yeah, it's pretty. I don't know. Like I did not dunk them in water. Like it kind of set like that's what the IP57 rating kind of like you can they can be wet for a little more than just like a spritz in the rain or like when you're working out and like if you sweat on them. But yeah, I know they're pretty solid. Like I'm trying to get more hands on with earbuds here, and like do more comprehensive reviews of like what is the best, what is the best price point, or like what is the best offering at every price point.
Nice.
And these are a pretty solid contender in the like 100-ish range.
Yeah. And I didn't see on here, what's battery life like on these?
The battery life is pretty solid. Like I think it's pretty much right what they advertise of like, I don't know, it's like 7 hours just for the earbuds. Like with the earbuds themselves, it's 7 hours, and then the case offers like 28. It's, I don't know, it's obviously a little less if you have the active noise cancellation enabled, but I don't, it wasn't anything where I was like, oh, it's like half the time and they're artificial. I don't know, they're lying about how much usage you can get out of them. But yeah, it was, I think like as like underwhelming as it is that these just kind of perform as well as I expected to in most capacities. And like the ANC I think is better than the price point would lend you to think, but everything else is pretty like what you would expect for $120 pair of earbuds, which is good in that you get your money's worth. But
totally. Do they have you talked about it being pretty bass heavy, do they have any way of adjusting the EQ?
Yeah, but it's not super like you can't go in and like fine tune it where you can like a lot of equalizer, like I don't know, Anker does their own in-app thing where you can like adjust you can adjust like the mids, the highs, you can like fine tune it. And this is more of, you can switch between like, they have a preset for like vocals, or if you want they have like 5 or 6 presets, and they're pretty solid. But the one that like the natural one out of the box is just a little like, I don't know, it kind of drowns the bass kind of drowns everything else out, which is fine. But
yeah, I found that a lot of kind of like the active branded stuff like usually has a pretty low end heavy EQ setting, I would say, right out of the box. Like with the Jaybird Vistas, it was a very similar thing.
Yeah.
And like obviously they like offer the way to adjust the EQ on it, but like that's what they think that, active people want, I guess. It's like driving bass.
And it's like, I mean, I love a good bass, but I think the biggest thing with here is that it kind of drowns the rest of it out, and you can't really like the rest of it isn't as crisp as, I don't know, like my favorite pair of earbuds right now are the Marshall has the Motif 2s out, which are like the vinyl covered ones that are in the more of like the retro style, and their EQ is like so I don't know, locked in right out of the box that like, like, I don't know, there's no need to even adjust it. And so I always keep thinking about them as like the gold standard for sub $200 earbuds right now.
Yeah.
But
no, those are awesome.
Yeah. Verdict for Jabra. Yeah.
Sorry, go
what
ahead.
have you been using?
I'll finish up
Jabra. Yeah. I was just going to say that the Verdict is like, you can get them on sale. They are worth the cash if you're an Android user, or like, I don't want something a little more fitness focused than AirPods. But yeah, I know, I feel like pretty self-explanatory, but
I've been using some like pretty budget earbuds for the last long while, actually. The Earfun Free Pro.
Oh yeah, I'm actually aware of those.
Dude, for like $50, they're pretty insane what they can do.
Yeah.
ANC, wireless charging. It's a solid pair of headphones or earbuds for the price.
Yeah.
I am starting to get to the point there. Sorry, I keep talking over you.
I know. Yeah, you're good. Yeah, we're still amateurs, I guess, with our streams. Our live streaming. Yeah.
With those earbuds, I'm getting to the point where like there's a little piece like on the inside that's starting to come off. Like they're starting to show their budgetness. But the feature set for them, I was still really impressed with, and like the size with the battery life and everything is just a pretty solid experience.
Do they have auto pause play when you take them out of your ear?
I don't remember if these do. I don't think they do.
Because the Jabra ones do not, and that, I don't know, that was like the big like if I could add a feature to it, it would be, I don't know, because I feel like at the gym, that's kind of what you want. Like you don't want to take out one of the earbuds to hear someone and have it like keep blasting your workout mix, but.
Right. Totally. Yeah. Yeah. The other pair of earbuds I've been using were the. I just did a review of it. Was the um shoot, which one was it? I'm gonna go look through my videos. I think it was the I want to say Behringer, but I don't remember if that's exactly it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm actually, for one, normally I think I'm pretty locked in on your reviews, and I'm coming to a blank too. But
the Beyerdynamic, which these sound really good. They have the like auto pause, and really great ANC as well. The only thing with me is like they didn't quite have the fit, the comfort that I was looking for. It just felt like way too much pressure kind of on my ear. But otherwise, really solid sounding and a lot of features built into it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I guess like while we're on the topic of headphones, this week saw an over-ear pair of like cans debuts with Sennheiser's latest. Did you get a chance to? Did you see those by chance?
I didn't see much about it. No.
Yeah, on Monday night they dropped it like 6 p.m. on Monday night, and I like frantically was like, "Oh no, I gotta get these covered." But this is like a big departure for Sennheiser from some of their previous releases that are a little more stylized to have like the retro look, and it's I don't like they're clearly focusing on like the functionality rather than the form factor this time. And I'm very excited to see how that actually like ends up turning out in practice. I don't know. They said that they are going to send some over to review, nice. But we shall see. Yeah, I love the look of these, and like can very easily see them being a like nice AirPod or a nice AirPods Max competitor, or like going. They definitely look to beat Bose and Sony's latest ANC headphones with like it has 60 hours of battery life, which is almost double what all the other big players tend to offer. And yeah, that like white and felt design just looks so cool to me. That's
very classy.
Yeah, it is very classy, and I'm hopefully they'll send me those to review. But the black ones look pretty slick too.
Yeah. Did they offer you a color choice?
Yeah. They did not. They were just kind of like, hey, we're waiting for loaners to come back. We'll let you know. Yeah. So won't get to, unfortunately, I don't think I'll get to add these to the collection permanently, but like still very much want to take them for a spin and see how everything stacks up, because Sennheiser really hasn't done much with over-ear headphones in a couple years. And so I think the Momentum 3s that are the predecessors came out in like 2017 or 18. So it's been like a long time as far as as far as new releases go. And I'm excited to see what they had cooking all that time.
Yeah.
With it. Yeah. But seems promising, I think, is my bottom line right now.
Absolutely. Nice.
Yeah.
$350 for that. Yeah.
Which is, I know I think you're still paying for the Sennheiser like brand and seal of approval, but I'm inclined to always kind of give them a chance with that.
Yeah.
Like premium brands, I think most of the time there's a reason for that, why they're charging so much. AirPods Max, maybe not so much, but 550 is a little. I love mine, and I'm still like, that's a little ridiculous, but
that's funny. And that's, pretty on par with other premium audio ANC headphones. So nothing out of the ordinary there.
Yeah, all right. I'm excited to see them, and I think we'll have to wait and see. Like that's the end of it until we get the hands on. But something that is also new this week is Anker has a new charger out that has a 140 watt output, and that is the big selling point of this portable battery. That is like it's TSA approved in that you can bring it on an airplane, but it's absolutely massive, and I am so eager to get my hands on one of these.
That's wild. That's a lot of power. Holy cow.
They claim you can charge a MacBook, one of the new MacBook Pros, in like less than, you can charge it like 50% of the way in like less than an hour with it, which is like pretty impressive to me. I'm excited to like get one and see if it actually is as useful as like, I know, as the specs kind of seem like they will be. But I know like last week we talked about some of Anker's other releases, and one of them is a portable power bank that's on the, I think, on the more portable side of that. And this is leaning into the far opposite end of the spectrum that I am very excited to hopefully get to check out. But
Yeah, that's cool. I like the little screen, all the information it can give on there too. That's
yeah,
pretty neat.
it kind of borrows from their, like, you've reviewed some of the larger Anker power stations that are
Mhm.
like meant to bring on like camping trips and tailgates rather than keep in your in your bag, right?
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, I think, yeah, it kind of looks like they're merging the portable side with like their more power user type things, and I'm here for it because 140 watts is I don't know, is actually insane. And like, I guess the only bad thing about it that I have to say right now is that you can charge it at 140 watts too, but like they don't sell a charger that can do that currently. And I don't think that many people are going to have one just sitting around that can like do 140 watt speeds.
Yeah. So
So
how are you
it's
gonna do
kind of,
that?
yeah, I don't, not that it's because it's not false. It's like the opposite of false advertising, where like I'm sure it does support the feature, but who's gonna be able to test that?
Right.
Like who's gonna be able to confirm that?
That's funny. Yeah,
Yeah.
but I mean that
Yeah.
also sets it up for other products in the future to be able
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
uh, to supplement that and work well with that.
Yeah. So I don't
And
know. I
150
think
for
that this
that.
is one of the more, yeah, I don't know, for $150. I think the thing that I'm excited like, if I get one, the thing I'm excited to find out is if it's worth $150 or if it's just better. Like, Goal Zero has a similar, like, it does not charge at 140 watt, but they have a similar power bank that's meant for like charging laptops and really anything else that has a USB-C like port on it. And so kind of want to put it head to head against that and see.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, that's pretty neat. It'll be
Yeah.
interesting.
And I get like, and that does, I think that's like that wraps up kind of the best news stories of the week, but there are some deals that are worth highlighting.
Yeah. Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, kind of wrap up. Um, First one we got is the iPad Mini 6 is finally back in stock after like literally disappearing from Amazon and like Best Buy from like, I don't know, for a full month plus. And like this only applies to the cellular models, and because the base Wi-Fi ones are still out of stock,
Wow.
hilariously enough. So this is like if you've been waiting to get one, now's your chance. And I'm a big iPad Mini fan.
Yeah.
That's kind of what, like, I had a 12.9 inch, the 2018 iPad Pro, and instead of upgrading to the M1 model, I was like, no, we're gonna see what the tiny one has to offer. And I'm, yeah, big fan. I do little doodles and stuff with it, and like use the Apple Pencil for I don't know, random things because
Yeah.
I'm certainly not an artist, but
We still have a very old iPad mini that
yeah.
we've kind of transitioned into like the kids iPad. That's what they'll play on. So we have a lot of games on there for
Yeah.
them. But I've always loved that form factor because it is very portable and easy to use.
Yeah, and if like, I don't know, I hilariously enough, I also had an older iPad mini that I bought in college to use as my car's like entertainment system because I had
Nice.
a very outdated car that did not have a modern day entertainment, like, so it was like, oh, like I want to be able to pull up maps and stuff, and I bought a cellular model just to like mount it in my car
Yeah.
as yeah. And so, not that you should go out and buy the new iPad mini to do that at $150, but
It's another use for it.
having cellular definitely comes in handy and like leads, if I don't know, I think if you're going back to school specifically and are looking for a something that you can actually take anywhere And I don't know how much most colleges have like Wi-Fi service everywhere, but like school I went to did not have very good Wi-Fi on the on the quad or in some of the more public spaces, and so this could be a great little addition to your back to school kit if you are so inclined to have a tablet in that.
Totally.
But
Absolutely. That's
yeah,
a great
I don't
option.
100 yeah, so $100 off, hard to beat, all time low. Check it out.
Yeah. Yeah. Once again, yeah,
And
we
then
don't really see a whole lot of uh, deals on this kind of stuff, so it's always
mm,
worth mentioning when those pop up.
yeah, absolutely. And I guess, before we check out the last deal, Riz is back with another banger of a question asking um, if there are any better monitors than the XG27
Check it out.
AQM.
I haven't
Yeah,
really
I'm
looked at a whole lot of 240 hertz panels, so I'm
yeah,
not totally sure. That's the Asus.
yeah. Yeah, I'm not super familiar with the current market either, but I would say when shopping around, like if there's a model that has the specs you're looking for, like try to see if other like I don't know if there are other options other than Asus that are currently on sale. Like you're talking to people from 9to5Toys, like deals are our thing, and so shopping around if you're not married to the like I don't know to the Asus design is worth a shot, but at 100 or 606 or yeah, at 670 price wise, I think seems pretty solid from what's what I guess I've seen elsewhere on the market. I don't believe we're tracking any other deals though right now.
Right.
I could
That's
be
what
wrong about that.
I was kind of looking
Yeah.
for. I know Patrick is usually keeping stuff up to date
Yeah.
on here with what kind of monitors or what kind of
Yeah.
monitors are on sale. So, and usually like we see like usually
Mhm.
there's something popping up. Usually there's
Yeah.
something posted on here. So if you can wait a little bit, staying locked to the website and making
Yeah.
sure that you're catching one on sale is definitely worth it. I would say.
Yeah. It's kind of in the, I guess, recent trend now that like the GPU market has stabilized, things are back at retail, but like everything else is also kind of back in stock and going on sale. So if like that, especially we're kind of in the like the lull after Prime Day between now and the holiday shopping season kicking off in a couple months. But like we should probably see some pretty good deals here and there on 244 hertz monitors or 240 hertz monitors.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
This
it
one's
should be.
even faster than that. It's 270, right?
Oh yeah,
Pretty crazy.
yeah. I mean, I think that, and especially as like the year goes on, if you can wait like a little bit, that we'll probably see more and more monitors that like I don't know, exceed 240 hertz or like cheaper ones that come out and try to offer it at a more affordable price. Because I think a lot of options right now seem to be more in that premium zone, and not that like 240 hertz will ever be, I think, not premium in the near future, but there could be, I don't know, someone could try to shake it up. Like Samsung could just be like, "Hey, here's a really cheap 240 hertz monitor. Enjoy it."
Yeah.
But
But yeah, that
yeah, the Asus one
seems
looks pretty good.
yeah, that
Seems
seems
reasonable for the
yeah,
price.
yeah. That's exactly what I was gonna say. All right, so we've got
And yeah, we got
one more deal
yeah,
to
one
look
more
at.
deal here. Yeah, and it's like a closeout type deal. Early in the week, Samsung had their Unpacked event and showed off a bunch of new gear. And one of those things is a second generation pair of the Galaxy Buds Pro, which means Amazon is trying to get rid of all of the original models. And if you don't care about some of the newer upgrades, spending $120 can get you ANC, spatial audio, and all of the other like good Samsung features that they offer. And it's $80 off, matching the Prime Day price. So if you were kind of waiting to see what the new generation would do to the pricing scheme, now's your chance to like score that all-time low. And we reviewed it over on 9to5 Google when they came out and walked away pretty impressed. And I would still say that for the price, they're seeming, I don't know, if you don't need the latest and greatest, being able to save $110 is hard to be like $110 from the new generation's price is a pretty good deal,
Yeah.
which is what we're all about. So
Yeah. Totally. yeah, get it before it's gone and get a good deal.
Yeah. Um, and yeah, that does it for the stories we have to talk about. Is there anything that you have in the pipeline now for like next week
Let
or in
me,
the near future?
yeah, let me pull up my little cheat sheet here.
Yeah.
Some other things we have coming out. Let's see here. Next week, I have a little speaker from Edifier
Oh,
that we'll be
cool.
doing a review of. I've been kind of sitting on that for a little while, so finally got a spot that I can put that out. And then
Great.
something, I think about a new mouse from a company
Yeah,
as
from
well.
a
So
company.
another, yeah, another embargoed mouse is gonna be coming out next week.
Yeah, exciting stuff.
Yep,
I have also an embargoed thing that I'm allowed to show off very briefly.
very
Um,
briefly.
yeah, I mean it's in a box. Anker has some new things coming out here that
Oh,
are going to be worth a look. If you're in the market for headphones,
interesting.
coincidentally, I'm allowed to say that.
Okay. So,
And otherwise, I have a review on the way of these headphones that I'm currently wearing,
okay.
and the rest of the Logitech lineup of like they released a new Aurora collection for that are just like all these slick white gaming peripherals, and like my favorite thing about it is the keyboards come with a wrist rest that is a little cloud, and it's so cute. I don't, yeah,
That's
I'm
awesome.
very excited to get to like put my thoughts together on it
Nice.
and yeah, show it off.
Did you
But
get the
headphone, yeah,
the whole lineup? Because I know they
yeah,
have a few items, right?
they sent the whole thing for me to check out. So
That's exciting.
yeah, I can say I'm not paid by Logitech, but I can be like, oh, I'm they decked me out with their gear.
Right.
Yeah, for the first stream,
Yeah, they sponsored the
when
stream.
yeah.
That's
Yeah,
hilarious.
it's great gear. I'm excited to really like get to see. I don't like I've been like using it daily, driving the keyboard and the mouse and like the headphones here, and I'm excited. I guess kind of put everything into a review and get it all wrapped up. But that should be coming in the next week or so.
Awesome. Well, yeah.
Yeah,
So that'll kind of wrap up the live stream here. If you have any last minute questions, pop them in the chat. But otherwise, we'll be back. Or maybe I'll be back next week.
yeah. I mean, I'll be taking a brief hiatus, but I
Yeah.
mean, we'll return. I think we're in a good flow of doing these on a semi-weekly basis, like we had kind of discussed in the past, and it seems like that'll be the standard going forward here. So,
Totally.
in the meantime, between I don't who knows what we'll do on this like next week or the week after, but if there's anything you'd like to see us discuss, feel free to hit us up on Twitter. I'm at Rika Altland, and you are
At
I don't know. Yeah,
Jordan_Druber, I
yeah.
believe.
Yeah, say hi, give us feedback or whatever. But
Yeah,
thanks for
absolutely.
tuning in and chatting with us in the chat.
Yep. All right, everyone. Thank you very much and have a good rest of your day and a good weekend.
Yeah.
And we'll
Yeah,
see you
enjoy
later.
your weekends. Peace, everyone.